What's up, people? 360 Sports TV, the news, back with another one. In this video, I want to talk about Robert Joshua, AJ father. But before we do that, I need you to like, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, do so. I would appreciate that. Now let's get into this video. Now, there's been reports that Robert Joshua been blasting Eddie Hearn lately. You know, over his son's defeat to Andy Ruiz, which is understandable. But at the same time, my thing is, right, y'all been riding this shit for how long? Eddie Hearn took Joshua from 0 to 100. How can you really bite the hand that been feeding you for so long? Eddie Hearn made Anthony Joshua. He put the money into Anthony Joshua to take him to heights that I don't think AJ even thought that he could reach. You know, with the matchmaking that Matchroom did, they did a hell of a job matchmaking. Now, you know what I'm saying, he takes an L, he takes a loss, and his father coming out the woodwork talking about, oh, you need a change his circle, and, you know, people will just want to, looking for a handout, they want a free ride, and then the third, what are you talking about, a free ride? Yes, your son is a success, but your son was built by Matchroom. Solely built by Matchroom. I don't think that nobody could have did a better job with Anthony Joshua than what Eddie Hearn did with Anthony Joshua. The image that he created for him, with the endorsements that he got for AJ, he had a vision of what he wanted to do with AJ, and it brought him to heights that had a whole country following him. Look at Tyson Fury. What has Frank Warren did with Tyson Fury? Do you see a whole country following Fury the way that they follow AJ? No, you don't. Why? Because Frank Warren has not painted the picture for people to see Tyson Fury in a certain way that Eddie Hearn has did for Anthony Joshua. I mean, jeez. He had Joshua in commercial picking up cards, looking invincible. You got to understand what kind of image this created with the public. The public love Anthony Joshua. I mean, I got my daughter down at Disney World, and I'm bumping into people from the UK, and they're going crazy over Anthony Joshua. You know, you got little kids that are 8, 9 years old that are AJ fans. You get what I'm saying? It's because of how Eddie Hearn built AJ. Now, did Eddie Hearn push the envelope too much, bringing AJ into the fight against Andy? Maybe so. Saying that AJ had bad sparring session, he got hurt in the sparring, he wasn't right, and they still went on with the fight. But you got to understand, the fight was less than a week away. They said it was 8 days, a week and a day away. I understand the position that Eddie Hearn was in. Number one, Eddie Hearn had a venue that was locked down. He had thousands of people who bought their plane tickets, scheduled their hotel rooms, coming over from the UK to America to watch this fight. The DAZN needs the money from that event very bad. They need the viewership that was coming in for that fight badly, because they're trying to play catch up. So when you're trying to build a platform, how do you cancel major events? It was just all bad. It was all bad. You know, and then you got Eddie Hearn looking at Andy he don't look like much. AJ should be able to blow him out. Even with AJ not being 100%, if you would have looked at the two fighters, you'd be like, nah, he don't look like much. Like, it should be a cakewalk, which everybody did. Like, that's why nobody really was worried about the fight. Like, nobody, like, we knew that AJ was fighting, but nobody really cared about it because he was fighting, in our eyes, a lesser opponent. So we didn't take it to be much of a risk. We'll just catch the highlights. And I'm just keeping it real. Like, that's how most people thought. Like, why am I going to spend money to order the DAZN or to pay for the fight when I can just catch the highlights on YouTube? Because we're figuring that Joshua's going to run through this guy because he's a no-name guy, really haven't fought anyone, really haven't done much. Like, who is this guy? Turned out he was the guy that put the beats on Joshua. And I don't mean the ones that he got from Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying. So, listen, your son had a tough sparring. It happens, Robert. Like, shit happens. It happens. It is what it is. But your son, at the end of the day, is still a professional. He's a professional fighter. Like, you got fighters like Floyd and Pacquiao when they came out of sparring. Neither one of them was 100%. Now, it's been said that Joshua been getting hurt in sparring a lot. Back to the Daniel Dubois, the Joe Joyces. Like, you got a lot of people that said that, you know, what David Price, that said that they hurt AJ in sparring. So it's not the first time he's been hurt in sparring. He's a heavyweight. Like, that's going to happen. Like, one punch could turn out the lights. Turn out the lights. You know what I'm saying? Like, it go down like that. Period. Like, AJ know what he got into. My thing is that if AJ is not saying nothing to Eddie Hearn or feels some type of way, then his father should just, like, fall back. Because at the end of the day, is AJ's career and it's AJ life. No matter how he feel. His father didn't feel that way when Eddie Hearn was bringing him all that money. You know what I'm saying? Like, was he feeling like changing the circle when all the millions was rolling in? Like, AJ set for life. You got all the millions rolling in. Like, was he saying something when he signed a $100 million deal? No, he wasn't saying change nothing. He was saying, can we change this million into some bills so I can go do what I gotta go do? That's what we talk about changing. He wasn't talking about nothing about changing the circle. Now you face some adversity, you want to change everything. Nah, you got to ride what got you there, bro. Like, you're right there now. Like, ride it out. Just take it more seriously, because when Joshua was in that ring, you didn't see no fire in his eye, no nothing. Like, something wasn't right. I don't know. Like, maybe it could have been all the back and forth fighting coming through camp. His father going at Eddie Hearn, and they going back and forth, and his father telling him, like, you putting doubt in your son's mind before he even get to that ring. Joshua was beat before he entered the ring. He was beat. You got your father telling you that you shouldn't fight. You're not in no condition. And if you tell somebody that over and over, they might start to believe that. Like, because fighting is more mental than what it is physical. Yeah, you can physically hurt somebody, but you have to outthink them first. It's chess. And if somebody's mind isn't there, like, they're not going to be as sharp. And that's what you saw when you saw AJ fight Andy Ruiz. He was not sharp at all. At all. So, I don't get why you got a guy trying to blast him because you're mad that your son took an L. It happened, man. Like, the same way Golden State didn't think that KD was going to pop his Achilles. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't know. They thought that he could make it. Eddie Hearn thought that Joshua could make it. He thought he could make it. He didn't make it. Okay. You go back, you regroup, like you take it more serious, like you plan for this guy because you only had about 30 days to plan for this guy. Last minute notice. So the deck was just stacked against AJ from the get-go, honestly. You got a guy that you planning to fight in 30 days that you really haven't seen much of because you was planning to fight somebody totally different. Now you got to jump in with a whole nother guy. And this guy been planning for AJ his whole career. Cause everybody is planning for the champion. Do you think AJ was sitting around planning for this guy? AJ probably didn't even know who this guy is. You know what I'm saying? But Ruiz know who AJ is. You've been thinking about how you will fight this guy for the last 2-3 years. I would do this, I would do that. Man, you can go back 3 years right now and find tape on Andy Ruiz talking about how he will fight Wilder. This is how I will fight him. You got guys planning to fight the champion right now. The champion ain't thinking about this guy. So Andy already had one up on Joshua because he's been planning to fight this guy since Joshua got his hands on the belt. So Robert, you want to be mad, bro. If you wasn't mad when things was going good, don't be mad when things are going left. Help them go back right. You got to take your L's the same way you take your W's, period. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thinking. We're going to go back and forth on what it is. It is what it is.